There we go. Takes me a little bit to get everything actually running properly, but I'll wait till we have more than a few people in here. But hello, everybody, and welcome. I know it's been a very, very long time since I did an actual live stream. Life and COVID, and I don't even know what you want to call it. Everything kind of got in the way. So, without further ado, I just brought up the YouTube gaming stuff because it allows me to be able to basically play, and also more than that, it allows me to stream and not be harassed by YouTube and not be like demonetized instantly. So we can out bamboozle the bamboozlers. Uh, I'm 4 minutes early. Whoops. Oh well. So anyway, what I wanted to get to today is yeah, I'm gonna play some COD here in a bit, but mostly some of the news of the week, and then we'll get into the other stuff as well. So first off, for those of you who have not heard, the 545 Galil was announced Friday morning, afternoon ish by IMI or IWI. Yeah, IWI now as they're called. Excuse me. And that was an enormous, enormous deal. And now the only thing that kind of sucks is that it was they're restricting it to simply just 545 pistols and 545 carbines, which is cool. It's fine. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of it. That would be helpful. I'm sure it's going to be one of the top Google image searches. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. The link is broken. Brutal. But, let's see. I saw one. Let's see. I saw one that was out there. Let's see. They're all IWIs, but there are some out there that are not. Let's see if I can find a link. I want to say Dissident Arms still had them. It's actually the wrong link, but God, that is an interesting looking Galil for sure. But give me 1 second. I'll put up here so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. They might already be all sold out. Out of stock already, but there's the main event itself. Very cool. Very, very cool. Was really hoping that they'd make more of them, but c'est la vie, right? Anyhow, so this is a big deal. Guys have been jonesing for a 545 Galil for a long, long time. In terms of what is different between this and, say, the more common 556 or common 760-39 or even 308 Galils, is that yes, it's in 545 caliber, but there's a few minor things that are pretty interesting. If you look over here at the muzzle device, it has like an A2 combination flash hider, pseudo compensator. And what's interesting is that the majority of the stuff out there, Galils, they come with, and I think I have one here somewhere kicking around, one of the compensators. It might be out of my actual office. But it's a 2-port compensator normally, right? So it's interesting that they went with that on this gun, and I believe the thread pitch is 1/2x28, which is cool. So if you want to suppress it, you could, though. I can tell you from experience, suppressing a Galil is an exercise in futility because it is piston pop and everything else. It's not a great setup to suppress. Additionally, the round is extraordinarily high velocity. It's like 5.56. So you're still going to get that really loud pop. Very, very cool, though. Really exciting news. So it would have been really, really exciting news if this came out like a decade ago when 545 was still available and inexpensive. Right now, 545 is more available than 556 a lot of times, but it's still going to be pretty expensive. But for guys like me who are sitting on thousands and thousands of rounds of 545, this is freaking badass. Unfortunately, I did not manage to snag one before they went out of stock everywhere. I hear Copper Customs is going to have some on Monday. Military Arms Channel's or Tim Harmson over there at Military Arms Channel, his shop's gonna have some. If you guys really want to drop the cash on them, I believe they're gonna retail for about $1,900. And yeah, that's definitely more than a little expensive. Also, what is up, Australian friend? And yeah, it does look like something out of Black Ops. Big Venus for sure. Really, really cool setup. Very, very much digging it. Really want to get one. I made a request for one for review. We'll see if I actually get it or not. Signs point to, oh, nice. You got one, Driller? Badass, dude. I'm super stoked to potentially get one if I get one. They were asking me, they're like, like, well, we might be able to get one for you for review, maybe, big maybe. And I told them I don't even care if the thing has no finish on it or if it's hot pink or muddy girl camo. I don't care. For me, it was more of like, oh man, they would be so badass just to have one. It'd be even more badass to have one with a third pin, so you get the giggle switch, the rock and roll. That would be badass. Have that thing in full auto would be slick. Super cool. I think the pistol's a little questionable, and like I get it, it's like a crank, but like if I was going to invest so to speak in a 5.45 platform, definitely want to go with at least a 16-inch barrel. Get the solid ballistics of 5.45. You don't see IWI tooling up for just 5. Yeah, unless we see like a deluge of ammunition coming in, like at an affordable price point, which I don't think. Unfortunately, I don't think Trump's going to reverse the ban on 7 and 6, which is disappointing, guys. If that got lifted tomorrow, it would be unbelievable. It'd be just incredible to get that stuff back at a semi-regular price. But even if he flipped the switch tomorrow, so to speak, the imports would take a long time to get in. Still, very, very cool news. Wish they had made more of them, but I understand that they're doing sort of a limited run. We'll see, though. They say it's a limited run, but I feel like if with all of the traction that PSA is getting on their AKs in their AK-74 platforms, they very well may end up being like, well, maybe we should actually put some more money behind this. Maybe they'll, I don't know. I was hoping to get a Tavor at one point in 5.45. That would be freaking slick. I shoot that thing all damn day long. It's weird. If someone was like, "Hey, do you like Israeli weapons?" I'd be like, "Yeah, they're okay." And then someone would be like, "Well, how many do you own?" And I'd be like, "Oh shit, like 6." So I guess I more than just kind of like them. Oddly enough, similar situation with SIG. If someone asked me if I'm a huge SIG fanboy, I would be like, they make good guns. I don't know that it's like my favorite, but they're like, well, how many do you own? I'd be like, well, a 226, a 320, a 938, 365 XL, an MPX, an MCX, 516 carbon fiber, the 226 22. And I forgot a 522, their old rimfire pseudo 550 series. That's pretty neat. Let's see, strong market for this, and yes, 16 inches. Yeah, dude. I was hoping we get like a hell of a lot more of those in. Eh. Second on the plate thing I wanted to mention that I thought was pretty cool that I saw come out. Let me cheat and pull up the. I have kind of a cheater list of kind of news stories for the week that I thought were interesting. And yes, I'm gonna get to the honey badger. Don't worry. There was one other gun, and I'm trying to remember what the hell it was, and now I'm just coming up completely blank. It's probably. Oh, that's right. That's right. Ha. The aluminum framed 320. Let's see if we can find it. The AXG Scorpion. That's right. And I'm gonna go to the best website if you want to get if you want to get all the latest and greatest news about firearms and the gun industry and everything else. That's right, AmmoLand. Shameless self-promotion. I am now an editor over there. Yes, this thing is, and I'll cheat and just give you a little boop. There you go, a little zoomage action. Very freaking cool. It definitely gives off like a 220 or a 229 kind of vibe, and I'm very much digging that. I'm a huge fan of steel frame pistols. I've got a well, this is just an airsoft gun YouTube, so you don't need to ban me. In fact, it's a Bloomberg replica, and every time you pull the trigger, it tells you how bad of a person you are for owning guns. Now, it's currently out of batteries, so I can't demonstrate its functionality. But source, trust me, dude. But seriously though, that's huge news. And I would love to do like an all steel kind of loadout setup, or I'd really love to see if they start selling the lowers as individual items. That would be phenomenal. I would be all over that. It'd be super cool. There was another gun that came out that I thought was pretty interesting, and I don't recall offhand uh, what exactly it was. It was gosh, I can't recall, but definitely some really cool stuff coming out. Next up would be the news on the honey badger, and I'm gonna cheat and just go to a picture from Ammo Land that my good friend and coworker Duncan put up. Which there you go. There's the item in question. So yeah, they ATF apparently got their collective panties in a bunch and redesignated this as a illegal SBR and not as a brace. Now, there's been a lot of like interesting theories as to why. Someone said the length of pole is over 13 and a half inches, which I don't. Well, first off, I think Kevin over at Q actually posted a screenshot of like the CAD works files for it, the SolidWorks files for it rather, and it's actually like 13.3, so it is underneath that length of pull, but that would mean that was not the reason. If I had to guess, I would say the reason is somebody just made an arbitrary decision, and so funny enough, and what it ended up being is one of our writers, John Crump, which that guy is awesome at finding all the news you'd ever want to know. Like that guy could figure out who was on the grassy knoll in 45 minutes if you gave him just a little bit of information. But super talented guy, very smart, and he put up this awesome story about it, where basically it appears to be like a rogue ATF agent, more or less, that made this determination, right? And it's evidently not based on anything in particular. It just happens to be, if I'm not mistaken, one of the holdovers from the Obama administration. So maybe it was Eric Holdover's favorite lackey or something. But you have to say, man, the timing of that is really suspicious, right? So the whole divide and conquer idea is huge with anti-gun Democrats, anti-gun whoever. If you hoplophobes, deep state, whatever you want to call it, right? So, when Trump gave them a little bit with the banning of bump stocks, which was, boneheaded at best, categorically retarded, is more accurately. And I mean that in the literal sense. I mean, literally was backwards and slowed our rights, right? And but I could definitely see Democrats saying, you know what, we can drive a wedge between gun owners and the Republican Party, uh, at least enough that they can chip off some of us. Because here's the thing: am I a Republican? I vote Republican because is the least likely to take my gun rights away, right? There's a lot of stuff I don't agree with them on. Although I am staunchly pro-life, and I would challenge anybody who actually knows what goes into like a late-stage abortion to be anything other than. Uh, and it's like legitimately looks like something out of like a Rob Zombie film. Like it is just straight up evil. I know there's exceptions, and people could argue with me all day long, but I'm gonna go with the Pence line that I am unapologetically pro-life. Sorry, and speaking of which, you gotta love how the majority of the arguments go down with. They like to talk about the semantics of things, right? Uh, if they can't win an argument, by virtue of either the facts or logic, they'll either resort to emotion or they'll change the words themselves or the meaning of the words themselves, or simply fabricate words out of nothing in order to then, make their points valid. Point in case, assault weapons. Not a word, right? Anything you hit somebody with, attack with, is a weapon used for assault and could be then de facto considered an assault weapon, right? So they use this term to categorize a subsection of firearms that looked extra scary. Now, presumably, initially, I don't think it was done as some kind of, we don't want the people rising up and fighting against us. What I honestly believe it was is just a form of old school virtue signaling. I'm tough on crime. And if you're a Democrat, you're tough on those super predators. Jesus. The fact that minorities continue to vote for people who literally view them as incompetent children is baffling. It maybe I'm just a contrarian, but if I had a politician being like, "Oh, you need help from me, or you can't even brush your teeth in the morning," like I'm not gonna be like, "That guy's got my vote." Like I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you! I'll show you what I can do." I don't know. Probably because I was the youngest brother, and anytime my brother told me you can't do that, I was like, "Oh yeah, bitch, watch me," right? But yeah, it's questionable timing, right? It's right before the election. All of a sudden, they're trying to drive more and more wedges. It's a part of the whole demoralizing factor. Like, why bother and vote? Trump could never win the election, just like Trump could never win, the first election. But I think this time, the Democrats and the super far left guys are going all out, balls to the wall. Point in case, right? So Bloomberg is just throwing wads and wads of cash to try to tilt the election in every state they think they have even a freaking cunt's hair of a chance of winning, right? So Lindsey Graham, right? And a lot of what Lindsey Graham did initially, I was like, yeah, I get behind that. And then he supported red flag laws, and I'm like, God fucking damn it. Like, if you support red flag laws and you actually know what the hell they do, like you're a genuine sociopath or a straight up moron. Like, yes, I understand that by definition, a government has monopoly on the use of deadly force. I get that, right? However, why on earth would you give them carte blanche to take your weapons away and or murder you in your sleep? I don't trust the government that much at all. Hell, I don't trust the government to fucking tie my shoes. Why the hell would I trust them to kill me if they think I said something on the internet that was scary? Absolutely infuriating. ATF boys just jealous about the length of pull? Yeah, maybe. Defund the ATF, 100% agree. The ATF should be a supermarket in like the Midwest. It should not be a government agency. ATF let women and tyrants do their thinking for them. Maybe. Fox Squirrel, I agree with you. Abortion is wicked. Yeah. Let those babies become gun owners for sure. Hey, man. Couldn't be aborted if you could shoot back at the doctor trying to chop you up inside your mom's womb. The problem is, how do you figure out length of pull and determine the proper sight alignment for someone who's this big, I recently became a father, like 4.5 months ago. Now it's a big part of why I haven't been live streaming and haven't been producing videos, right? The other half is I'm now working full time for a company that, as part of my contract, I cannot do like content videos for Burst Review. At least anything that's related to what I do there, right? And live streaming is not. And if I want to do political videos, I'm allowed to do that, which I'll probably end up doing. But getting back to the whole Bloomberg trying to tilt elections. So Lindsey Graham, right? I think his the opponent's name is Jamie Harris or Harrison. I forget. Let's see. I want to open it incognito because I really don't want a million things to pop up. A million pops being like, "Hey, you gonna vote for him yet?" There we go. Yeah. So a super PAC called Act Blue has been like dumping targeted YouTube ads all over my channel, over like everything I've been watching, even has nothing to do with the election or politics, right? Being like Jamie Harris, right? Jamie Harrison, excuse me. And the polls are showing it's a dead heat. That's remarkable, right? Lindsey Graham won his last election with a 15-point lead. Like, that's a fucking landslide. Hell, that's a straight up like just dumpstered the competition, right? now it's actually neck and neck. And if you look at the amount of money raised, I think Graham had $8 million raised, and this literal who for the Democrats, Jamie Harrison, somehow materialized $14 million in funding and has ads everywhere. And you do just a tiny bit of digging, right? And all of a sudden, oh, funded by Bloomberg, right? So this same shit happened in Virginia, right? And they've been doing this all over the place. And it's, to be honest, you should have to raise the money for your campaign yourself in your own state. If you can't do that, if you can't get your constituents in your own state to rustle up enough cash to put on, a decent election, that's your problem. Like you're clearly not cut out for it. It's because realistically, right? The majority of South Carolinians are not Democrats, right? There's a good chunk of them, and a lot of people go, well, what about all the black folks, right? Because historically, black Americans like to vote Democrat. Well, if you look at the numbers, South Carolina has a very decent number. It's actually, I think it's like 30% of black voters in South Carolina, maybe it's 25%, whatever, actually vote straight Republican every year. So it's not as lopsided as it is in like heavily urban populations, and so that matters, right? It just Bloomberg's doing this stuff, but we gave the rights to the right to vote, or it was paying the bail for multiple convicts in Florida in an attempt to again tilt the vote. Like that sounds an awful lot like paying for votes. It's awful. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I mean, realistically, if like sweeping gun legislation gets passed in South Carolina, I'm just gonna fucking move. I'm not gonna stay around here. There's nothing for me here. My wife just lost her job of 9 years because of the coof, and honestly, probably some questionable ethics, which hopefully we'll be able to do something with with a lawyer in the future. So I'm not gonna go too into it. But I mean, I work remotely. I mean, the only thing keeping me here is I have a couple of good friends here, and my family doesn't live too far away because my father actually moved somewhat close, and I want my kid to know his grandpa and be able to go visit grandpa whenever he wants. But like, it blows my mind, right? It blows my mind that a state full of gun owners and hunters and everything else could be persuaded to vote against their best interests, and the Democrats will paint it as, oh well, it just gives tax breaks to the wealthy. Like it's about more than that. Like right now, if you're voting Democrat, like unironically, you're voting for socialism. And like read the Gulag Archipelago. Fucking look at any firsthand accounts of any country ever that has gone full socialism, right? Like Venezuela or whatever, right? And it always ends in, especially if identity politics are involved, it ends with genocide, poverty, starvation, war, and strife. It is literally what always fucking happens. And I feel like a big part of it was up until Trump, nobody on the Republican side wanted to just go balls out and be like, I'm super hardcore right wing. Fuck you guys, right? Like, I want to know when the term nationalist became a bad word. Like, go online and look at anybody bitching about America, right? They're like, America thinks they're so great. America this, America that, right? And then ask them about their country, and they're like, oh, yeah. If they're Italian, they're like, yeah, Italy's the best country on the planet. Or they're like, oh, yeah, Poland's the greatest nation ever. And you're like, what about America? Fuck those guys. Those guys think they're the greatest. And you're like, bro, you literally just said the same. Like, the cognitive dissonance there is unbelievable. Supporting your own country should not be a bad thing. And I love how like the what is it, the nom de fucking popularity, whatever the hell it's called. My French is abysmal at this point. Is white nationalist. So because the connotations of it are insane, right? So I support America and I'm white. Ergo, I must be a member of the KKK or a secret white supremacist. You got me. ABC, NBC, Southern Poverty fucking Law Center. Yep, got me. That's what it is. It was the second that I was born, and I said, I like America. And then, that was my first words. I love America when I was like say I was 3 days old. Came out of the womb, looked around, assessed the situation, said, "Yep, best country on earth." And then I was like, "Also, Fourth Reich, let's go." Yeah, that's totally what happens. Like, it's like the Democrats being like, "Oh well, the Proud Boys are a bunch of white supremacists." Like, what's the ethnicity of the leader of the Proud Boys? I'm pretty sure it's not white. Pretty sure it's not European. Pretty sure. But fuck me for noticing, right? Oh, thank you, Canyon Guiley. I just saw that. Sorry, man. I missed the regular uploads, boss. You're the one who convinced me to get a T91 upper, and so far this thing is freaking sweet. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I have a bunch of friends that ended up buying those that are like, these are awesome. One of my buddies who has an SOT has what's it called, FFL, whatever it's called, SOT, has a select fire lower on it, and the thing runs phenomenally. Love it. Absolutely incredible. Oh well, a lot of comments I missed. Sorry, guys. There needs to be a SEEP house cleaning. Let's see. Voting. God, I see everywhere. I might just vote hard against them. Dude, that's from Greg Bilota. Yeah, the amount of things out there, and they're always like, all this, again, fuck it, while I'm at it, I'll just get into it now because I'm just going to go full tilt, right? Full send. Mail-in voting is a fucking scam. It's 100% going to be used to steal the election. 100%. And they're going to try it anyway, right? They're going to all of a sudden, if what's going to happen in the election is what happened last time, maybe the numbers will be a little bit different, but Trump will win the Electoral College, right? But he will probably lose the popular vote. That said, if you actually throw away all of the duplicate ballots, is a kind word for it, fraudulent ballots is a more accurate word for it, that are going to be voting against Trump, I'm sure he would win by a landslide. Because I think Shapiro had, there's a poll out recently that talked about, Americans, do you feel like you're happier or better off today than you were 4 years ago? And I think it was a reference to like a question that I believe Reagan asked as his like campaign slogan, right? And the majority of Americans, yes, despite COVID, yes. And I mean, yeah, I know before the big coof, the wife and I were making more money than before. I mean, hell, we felt confident enough in the country that we had a baby, right? And I think the timing of that, on a side note, is amazing because if we had waited even like 2 or 3 months to have the kid, then the whole COVID thing, the scare would have been, more pronounced, and we'd been like, and then she ended up losing her job, so it would not have been a good time. It is serendipity, that, and honestly, I think God's looking out for me, because they say He looks out for drunks and fools, and I'm sober, so I guess if the if the label fits, wear it, right? But for whatever reason, several times in my life, there are a great number of times I should have catastrophically failed and or died, and miraculously did not. Can't explain it. All I can say is thanks, Back to the comments before I get too caught up in this. Beef Swellington, also a badass name, dude. Minorities vote overwhelmingly pro-gun control and hate speech laws. Yes, that's because they have been brainwashed by the powers that be, and well, a combination of that and the fact that, from a pure Machiavellian standpoint, right? If you're a minority, if someone can weaponize hate speech laws and your word is considered gospel, and you have no moral quandaries about taking advantage of that system, then it's a complete win for you. There's like literally no downside. Like if tomorrow every white person went under any scrutiny could be like, well, you just did that because I'm white. And immediately the media would jump on board and be like, oh, and back them up and be like, oh, my son could have been Jim, right? Yeah, all of a sudden you have all of the power dynamic has shifted so hard. It's incredible. I mean, that combined with the fact that they openly teach in schools, though not for much longer, thank God, that white people are like responsible for every woe in society and every issue that's going on today. These evil white conquerors. Well, like read a fucking book. Like literally, human history is a series of war, conquering, annihilation, and survival. It's just what it is. It's the nature of any kind of sentient being is going to eventually have to quote unquote make war with another group, right? Over resources. It's going to happen. And does it suck? Sure. Is it a uniquely white position? No, and it's insane to suspect as much. It's like when they talk about the treatment of Native Americans and how we stole their land, right? So was the treatment of Native Americans in America by the settlers abhorrent in many cases? Absolutely. We did straight up evil shit to them, right? Did Native Americans ever kill other Native Americans for their land? I'm fucking sure they did, and because of the lack of a written history for the majority of them, we'll never know. I mean, for all we know, there were 17 sub-tribes that made up the Cherokee, and then only the top Cherokee guys killed the rest and survived, conquered their lands, stole their women, and then bred their own new children, right? It's not inconceivable at all. It's so frustrating. I look at my son, and the thought that he would believe or be taught by a person of authority, right, that he is inherently bad or inherently evil, and that the sins of his great 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 grandfathers or whatever are his responsibility is objectively evil. It's counterproductive to any kind of functional society, but it is objectively just straight up evil. I mean, the only kind of person that would support something like that is someone whose basically end game was to destabilize the country for whatever reason, right? And it makes you sick. I couldn't appreciate the full insanity of it until I looked into my son's eyes, and I'm like, how could anybody think this kid is anything but pure and innocent, right? And it makes you sick. Honestly, makes you absolutely sick. And for me, that was kind of the final straw. I mean, I've always hated it, but whereas previously it could be considered kind of academic, it absolutely isn't any longer. And I know, for me, right? For me, well, there's a lot of comments. I will keep reading. I promise, guys. For me, another aspect of it is just like I grew up and I went to college at a time when, like, race theory and demonizing of white people wasn't nearly as prolific as it is now. So, I mean, I got out of college at the beginning of the SJW movement, and thank God, I would have gotten completely expelled because I have an awful sense of humor, right? And I am sure I misgendered hundreds of people accidentally, right? Guess what? Speech is not violence as much as you want it to be, and it's insane to state otherwise. Anyway, if SC goes, it will be good for the South. Agreed. Well, they're trying real hard with Georgia. Trump's awful personality is driving away independents to anti-gun, pro-Marxist Democratic Party. Yeah, and it's Sneaker. If Trump could just shut up and let Biden, give Biden enough rope to hang himself, it'd be GG, well played. Maybe it'd be over. Do you think this train can't be stopped? Fun with guns. I think it can be. I think it can be. It would be infinitely easier if the media wasn't so lopsidedly against us and pro-Marxist. Even a single spark can start a brush fire. I like that. I like that for me. It's good. I am an America First nationalist. Oh God, you're so evil. I bet you have. I bet you wear a Nazi armband on both arms because you're like a double Nazi. Yet nobody moves to socialist countries. Thank you, Shark. I 100% agreed. Wooten loves his T91. Yeah, man, those things are badass. Why wait around for the Fourth Reich? Go straight to the Fifth Reich. Message retracted. That must have been a good one. Phil T, just found your new channel, Amaland. Yeah, man, thank you. I am being put in charge of kind of building the channel from the ground up. We're like just short of 4,000 subscribers, so if you guys aren't subscribed there, go ahead. There's a lot of good content coming out there, and they're going to give me a ton of leeway to make good stuff. They were already very generous in getting me a really nice camera setup, which is gone. Gosh, it has decreased the difficulty of filming exponentially, especially with the fact that now that I have a child, my wife, and she's a stay-at-home mom now, is spending all of her time with him, when I'm not there with them both, and we can't normally film. He, unfortunately, little guy does not want to sleep for more than like 25 minutes at a time when he's by himself, and that's not nearly time to film a review. So I'm having to kind of film myself, and set up the cameras and kind of just position myself near them, and that's not super easy, unfortunately. Trump actually won New Hampshire last election, but they cheated him out of it. Yeah, I saw that too. Sneaker, CNN, ABC, NBC, PBS, and MSNBC are no longer sources for news. No, they haven't been for a very long time. WF, Hornet, my could have been Jim. Ah, yes, a collector of hats, whiskey, and R18 Dujins. I hate that I know what you mean by R18 Dujins because I'm a weeb. Oh God, sorry. They were never Native Americans. They were Native tribes. Sorry, I hate liberal labels. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. They play fast and loose with semantics. They always have. Sir Gas Mask, good friend of mine, says, love how the left wants to pull senators for Puerto Rico and D.C., but refuses to go for Guam, the Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and the Northern Mariana Islands. Is this due to lack of control? Presumably, yes. We should never expand the amount of states in the union unless we can do so in an even-handed way. Like if there's an uber right wing and then an uber left wing, fine, whatever. But I mean, the only reason Democrats want to add these states as states is they just want to have control of the country. That's the only reason, 100%. Phil T, did you see the Ames surplus had 516 uppers? I did, and I didn't get one before they sold out because that was a smoking price. They were like $500. I was pissed. Democrat policies: abolish the filibuster, abolish the EC, PEC, Supreme Court, confiscate firearms, implement hate speech laws. Yeah, that should be a spotlight at 110%. I think the most telling thing about liberalism and like far left Marxism and whatnot is it is incapable of sustaining itself when its policies are brought to light and or unless there is heavy censorship. Because if you look at any kind of board on the internet, right, that's either anonymous or lacks any sort of moderation, almost exclusively always becomes right wing, and there's a reason for that, right? It's because people, for the most part, want to be left the fuck alone, and they don't want to pay more in taxes, and they want to have the freedom to do whatever they want to do, and they're not concerned with what someone who dresses up as an animal thinks their pronoun should be, right? And rightfully so. And hell, I don't even care if somebody wants to do whatever the hell they want to do in the privacy of their own home. The problem is the slippery slope fallacy is not a logical fallacy when it's demonstrably true. And that's the issue that has been seen time and time again. Remember, like initially it was like, why do you care if gay people can have civil unions? Or do you hate gay people? Oh, why do you care if gay people can be married? Do you hate gay people? Like, it's all this crap where like it's no longer about tolerance. Remember that was the big term forever. Tolerance. You tolerate a poison. You tolerate something you dislike, right? They don't want tolerance. They want more than acceptance. They want you to embrace it. And that's why you see all these fucking companies virtue signaling about how awesomely gay their company is, or how much they support BLM or whatever the fuck. And it's so disingenuous. I mean, does anybody ever look at that stuff and go, you know what? Assalamu alaikum, Coca-Cola. I'm gonna get myself a Diet Coke. Yeah. Like honestly, stay the fuck out of politics. Same with Hollywood. Like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you think, right? And if you get your political opinions from someone who is like a movie star or a TV star, like legitimately, fucking uninstall your brain or goddamn it, go move somewhere else. burn your fucking vote, right? Double armband evil. That sounds like a badass metal band rather. Quick question: was there a specific reason why the minimum barrel length for non-SBRs was 16 inches? I don't know. It was part of the NFA Act of 34, National Firearms Act. Fun with Guns, good Halloween movie to watch. Cabin in the Woods is a good one. And what's the other one? Dale and whoever fight evil. I also am a big fan of Army of Darkness. That's like one of my all-time favorite goat movies. Very, very good. Electoral College. Thank you, Sneaker. Puerto Rico will never vote to pay U.S. taxes. Yeah, 100%. They are vastly too impoverished. They would just be like California 2.0. It'd be awful. If people stopped paying taxes, how would we fund our oppression? Yeah, right. Tintin and the 40 bourgeois. Oh, Boognools. Pardon. Do you trust people with little hats on top of their heads? I trust some of them. Who is my waifu, Jim? My waifu is Kay, from the channel. I guess you've probably seen her before. So fun fact, I was dating her when we were both in high school. Like I've known her forever. It's actually kind of weird is that I can't really remember a time before her, which is really odd. We were 3 years apart, so she was a sophomore and I was a senior. Uh, but yeah, that definitely 110% recommend marrying a girl that ideally you're her first serious boyfriend, if as you know, provided she's not crazy. Because personally, and I know statistically it's true, the more partners a woman has, serious partners, the more likely she is to become, to get divorced from you, right? And I'm sure there's probably a similar correlation rather for men who go through multiple relationships. I mean, you're not going to form that same level of bond with someone who like you're the 35th notch on her bedpost, right? I mean, clearly it's not something she reserves for people who are special to her. Uh, which if that's your cup of tea, rock and roll, go fucking ride the cock carousel. I don't give a shit. But yeah, like God, I fucking, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be like an 18 or a 25-year-old right now. That must absolutely suck. If you wanted to actually have a serious monogamous relationship, that's brutal. With stuff like Tinder out there, fuck that. Like you ain't the first car in that garage. Pfft, join the fleet, right? Uh, Army of Darkness, epic. Yes, agreed, Fox. Bruce Campbell is freaking great. Hornet, we all know you're old enough that your waifu is like Sailor Mercury. Oh, you want to know like my anime waifu? Oof. Faye Valentine, 100%. MP5K and cigarettes. Pair bond, yes, thank you. Price on 9,556. When do you think the price will come back to normal? After the election, if things don't go too insane. In probably a couple of months after, to be honest. Strong fathers equals strong society. 110% agreed. Uh, gas mask with provided she's not crazy. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. Cannot recommend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My wife was not my first serious girlfriend. But she was the first one that ever made me feel like I wanted to be a better person for her. Like it's a weird feeling when someone looks up to you that you care about, and like I was the youngest son, and my parents really never gave me very much responsibility. That's why gun ownership has such a place in my heart. Aside from the fact that I think it's a fundamental civil right that everybody should honestly, I think even unless you've been convicted for like killing people, in which case, I mean, let's save the jail time and use a bullet. But if you've done your time and you're quote unquote, rehabilitated, give somebody back all their rights, everything. It's not a popular opinion, but whatever. Uh, totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So for me, like I never had any real responsibilities. I mean, I grew up privileged, and not the white variety, the monetary variety. Uh, I didn't get everything I wanted, obviously. I mean, nobody does, and I didn't get like shit like much. Like so, despite the fact that my family was well off, right? If let's say like when I was about 12 years old, I think GoldenEye came out, right? And I was like, oh man, Dad, can I get this game? And he was like, how much is it? And I'm like, it's $60. And he's like, yeah, if you get a job and you work, and then yeah, you can get the money, you can get the job, and you can enjoy it. And I was all like, oh, it's lame. What the hell? I know he has the money. It's so lame. And then like my friends, I lived in a fairly affluent neighborhood, and all of my neighbors' kids, they got like I distinctly remember for Christmas, one of the kids got an N64, and every game that was available for it like a month after launch, right? Which is like what 10 games. It wasn't much, right? There's certainly not any good games, but well, except for Mario, it's pretty solid. But and Blast Corps. But beside the point, a ton of the people I grew up with, they got everything they wanted at a young age, ended up either like drug addicts, overdosed and died, or just became just awful dredges of society. Because if you get everything you want right off the rip, then you have like nothing has any value, right? Super tangential point. We go back. So for me, the fact that my parents didn't spoil the shit out of me was a good thing. But at the same time, because we were well off enough, I didn't need to work for my family to get food on the table. I mowed the lawn, and I helped clean the house, and I cleaned out the stables and stuff like that. But like for the most part, whether or not I performed any of those duties, nope, nothing really mattered, right? And then I got a gun license, a license to carry in Massachusetts, and I was 21, uh, and it made me think about things differently because like it was such an enormous responsibility. Right? I was carrying a firearm, and if I got into a scuffle with somebody, right, and God forbid, say somehow he hits me and I fall and my gun falls out of my holster and slides across the floor, right? And this guy in his blind rage decides that he's going to shoot somebody now, like me, presumably, or with me having a firearm, any altercation could become a lethal and final one, and it kind of it hit me kind of hard, like not like I was like, oh, I can't sleep at night, but it really put into perspective, like this is an enormous amount of responsibility. I need to grow the fuck up, right? Uh, Actually, I drank a little bit at that point, but not like a lot. But I like completely quit just everything because I was like, I need to, in case I need to defend, my family from somebody breaking in. I can't be inebriated and trying to have a gunfight with somebody in a house. That's insanity. Uh, but yeah, that was like a big moment for me where I kind of like I stopped fucking around, got a job, decided to go to school, decided to make something of myself, and so for that for that reason they've always kind of held a special place in my heart. I don't know how how I got to that point with you guys, but because unfortunately, like I said, the kiddo is not sleeping great lately, so I'm on like 3 hours of sleep. So I apologize for that, which is by the way, that's a big reason as to why I didn't live stream last night, and I meant to, and I apologize. Is I didn't get the kiddo to sleep until like 11 o'clock. But I'm hoping I can learn something from my dad and his methodology for parenting, and hopefully raise a at least a semi-functional human being that at least understands the principles of self-reliance. Let's see. Youngest son too. I know dating would be higher at escorter too. I don't know about that one. Jim's son is gonna save the world from communism, right? Let's hope. 545 Galil came out of nowhere. Would rather have an SLR 104 FR. Yeah, I mean, I'd have both, but yeah, I could see that. I had to work for everything I got. Hell yeah, Chris. And I'm sure you're a better person for it. Like, I see that time and time again. And I really think that's a big part of like these optimistic is a kind word, naive is more accurate. Like super left wing liberals that come from like well-to-do families. They're like, like, well, daddy gave me a BMW when I turned 15, and so, Jamal should have one too. And everybody should have one. And they don't understand that like their dad or their father's father or their father's father's father, whatever, had to bust his ass so that you could carry on, right? And you could live comfortably. Which is another thing when people are like, I'm not having children because there's too many people in the world and blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm sure your ancestors are smiling in heaven. They're like, man, so glad that I got, the black lung working in a coal mine so that my great great grandson could decide to chop his balls off and just destroy my bloodline. Fantastic. Fucking ridiculous. Meanwhile, people who are in the country illegally are just literally churning out children as fast as humanly possible. Good stuff. You look handsome when shooting like a Resident Evil character. Chris Redfield. Hell yeah, brother. I can punch a boulder. Fun with guns is giving the eyes of hell yeah, brother. Make kids before it's banned, man. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, dude. Make a kid army. That's right. I'm raising an army of white nationalists, one soldier at a time. The first guy's he's not quite there yet, but he's got the eyes of a killer. I could tell, when I'm sitting there giving him a raspberry on his chest and he's laughing uncontrollably. I know what he's thinking. He's like, oh, "This is great. I can't wait to be in a foxhole and slot floppies." Uh, totally not. Hey, I really can't wait to get some milk from mom. Really enjoying the stream. Like your reviews, but it's nice to see you're totally based and red pilled. You know it, brother. Had a job at 12, but I would blow all my money on video games and fast food. I was kind of guilty of that for a while in college. So funny enough, I had like a stipend as part of like a grant I got, right? And I would spend a chunk of that, and then I spent every single paycheck from the bookstore, every single one, right, on either ammunition, guns, or video games. 'Cause I remember Dick's Sporting Goods at that time had 9mm Remington UMC ammo, 115 grain, kind of considered like quality, right? And it was $4.99 a box, which that hurts me to think about now. I should have bought like 200,000 rounds, and I would spend the whole paycheck on 1,000 rounds of 9mm every other week, and usually a half case of Wolf 7.62, and I'd sit there and just beat the shit out of my Glock 17 and just keep shooting. I'd go to the range, rain or shine, inclement weather, whatever. Because I was fortunate enough. I don't know if you guys live in Massachusetts. There was there's a gun range called Braintree Rifle and Pistol Club, and it was a good chunk of the guys that would shoot there were like cops, and so they were open 24/7 in an indoor range. You had to be at like an RSO to use the indoor range by yourself, I think. And so when I would drive back from college, there was a locker there, and I would store my ammo and my gun in there, and I would literally I'd leave college on a Friday for the weekend, pick up a case of ammo, drive to the Braintree T stop where my wife would take it from her school. She went to school in downtown Boston, or Cambridge rather, and pick her up, go to the range, go through about 250 rounds, go home, eat dinner, wake up early the next morning, go shoot rifle for 250 rounds or 300 to 400 rounds, clean the guns, pack them away, spend the rest of the weekend together, drive her back. Either if I tried to get my schedule to be as such that I could not start class until like noon on Monday. That way I could just leave Monday morning super early, drive her to the T, have her take the T into Boston, then drive all the way back to my school in oh god, I'm drawing a blank. Worcester, Mass. Worcester is it spelled, and go to class and stuff, right? And that was awesome. Like, I had such a different college experience than the majority of my peers. They were like, "Brah, every night it's like popping my collar and like pounding natty ice, brah." They're like, "What'd you do over the weekend?" I'm like, "I shot in an IPSC match and I played a good amount of Call of Duty." hung out with my girlfriend who ended up marrying a million years later. But yeah, it was good stuff. Is your wife comfortable with your power level? Mine is. So, Tintin, my wife's power level may in fact exceed my own. Every time my kiddo puts his hand to his head, because he likes to do like this, or sometimes he'll throw out a pinky or a thumb, and she'll go, hello, base department. But yeah, he's so somehow, despite my wife being not fair skinned at all, my kiddo is whiter than me. He is like glow in the dark, moonlit, like alabaster white. He is super white. It's freaking hilarious. Love the kid to death. He's also cute as shit, and he has the same name as me. He's gonna be he's the fourth. I'm a third. I named him after his great grandfather, which would be my grandfather, whom I'm named after as well, obviously, who was a war hero. So I figured that was a good way to keep his memory alive for future generations. Oh, sorry, epic name beef. Yeah. Breaking Antifa shot another Patriot in Denver, and I did not hear that. I'm gonna go pull that up. Six hours ago, one dead after gunfight in downtown Denver rallies. Private security guard on contract. Let's see. Oh wow. So let me pull this guy up here. Apparently, the Denver Post is turbo cucked. So I'm gonna just open this guy up with what the hell is the photos? Here we go. So yeah, this is apparently the guy on the left is the Patriot guy that our guy they were talking about. Hard to say. It looks like that he was shot with either a shield. Yeah, I think it's a shield with a Romeo 3 on it. No, actually no. Look at the enhance. If you look at the outline, it looks an awful lot like an actual RMR, and there appears to be. I would assume that's a TLR on the bottom of it, but yeah, it's gonna be a real tough sell in court that you were justified in shooting a guy that pepper sprayed you. Although, what was it in Georgia? They're saying that OC was considered lethal force, and then it wasn't when the one black guy sprayed the cop and got shot for it. So interesting. Let's see. Gen Alpha Warrior. Thought you were gonna say your wife is whiter than you and has a Confederate flag and a Pontiac Firebird. Hell yeah, brother! Fun fact. I may have had my first romantic encounter with my first serious girlfriend in the back of a Pontiac Firebird. Buy your son Nerf guns while they are still legal. Nah, dude. I'm actually gonna be like really strict about like guns and stuff in the house. Where like he's not. I'm not gonna let him. What's it called? Really have guns other than actual firearms and then air guns and stuff. And so like I don't want him to ever get into the habit of aiming a firearm at living people. I think it's a bad precedent to start. I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting, but it's kind of my opinion on it. Is that a 19? Someone said it was a Glock 19. I can't tell. It's too blurry. The sights are way high. Yeah. I just assumed that guy was a manlet, and so that was a fairly small gun. What's that tattoo on his wrist right there? It's like a scorpion. Alex Jones doesn't like scorpions. He likes lobsters. Why has God abandoned us? Because every day we stray further from God's light. What's going on in the stream? 545 Galil, what? That's right, Biggest Dickus. That was my prison name. Yeah, IMI released those on Friday afternoon, and they promptly all sold out, though there will be some kicking around the internet allegedly in the near future. Media is the actual enemy. Yeah, no, real talk. For serious. Average shield user versus average bear spray employer. The only critique I have of this photo is that the guy on the left has a chain wallet, and I genuinely don't trust people who have chain wallets. Why are none of these riots knife only matches? That would be cool. Like if it was like oh god, what is that like the classic musical with the where they're all like having the knife fight to the music and stuff? I don't even know. But yeah, that would be badass. I think they should do like the whole what was the old tradition of nominating a champion. Like I think 1v1s should be legit the way to solve disputes with sabers. Be badass. Thoughts on a 6.5 AK from Evoctus Arms? Unaware of its existence. I thought Chase at Definitive Arms made one of those. Too bad Mosins aren't cheap anymore. You could give your kid one of those. I've got 3 Mosins. I just give him my M44. That'd be a solid first gun, right? WTF, not gonna have children ever. You say that now. You'd be surprised. West Side Story. Thank you, Beef. Decide the riot with a joust. I like it. Dude, Thunderdome. Hell yeah. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. What is it like? Who runs Thunderdome? And it's like, Master Blaster. Those movies were fucking great. Cricket rifle. Yeah, actually fun. So, have you guys seen like the tactical cricket? I forget what it's called. Like, it looks like an AICS gun. What the hell is it called? Or an Accuracy International gun. Excuse me. Cricket precision rifle. Bam. Yes. Now complete with broken menu. Is it because I'm zoomed in too much? Smash that F5. There we go. I cannot get their image thing to work at all. There's probably a better one. That's great. That thumbnail is fantastic. It looks like that guy is like an actual giant. Here's my 338 Lapua. I wear size 27 shoes. I have accidentally crushed baby chicks with my hands. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm excited. Oh, hey, I don't know for sure, but I suspect this photo was taken by my buddy, who you all well and know, Oleg Volk. He takes a lot of great photos, for sure. There's a very distinct style. Oh man, I got really excited for a second. I thought this was a cricket in Rhodesian camo. I was like, oh wow, could is it possible to be even more based? That'd be so badass, dude. A micro 22 foul. Every child needs one, and short shorts, but not for weird reasons. Yeah, Greg. I think that photo is kind of, yeah. It's definitely mid recoil cycle for sure. 'Cause even a spent casing right here, and based on the fact that said spent casing looks to be silver, it was probably a defensive round. Do you have any insight on the ammunition situation? I know the feds have been buying millions of rounds and are now training to fight underground. Yeah, I know it doesn't bode well. I've didn't Trump just like organize a new wing of like the National Guard to help with anything that can go wrong during the election? Like that's it's like that. There's that famous like Chinese curse, which actually isn't even real. It was like a misnomer that was like invented by some like British guy in the 1800s, which is "May you live in interesting times." I feel like I I I certainly feel like I live in interesting times now. That's for damn sure. I want a Riley Defense AK, but I can't get one. I don't think I've ever even heard of Riley Defense, but I will now. Forge Tough. Oh boy. One of their thumbnails is a guy with a huge, ugly quad rail. Oh, they have some real looking guns too. Eh. No folding rear trunnion. Oh, alright. Stand corrected. See, that just hurts. So let's just out. It is beautiful folding stock AK, and they put a Tapco Intrafuse in it. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Wrong. Okay, frankly wrong. Dude, I tried to watch the what's it called, the vice presidential debate, the most recent one, the first one rather, and it was painful. I don't know if you guys had a chance to take a look at it, but Jesus, that woman is out of her fucking mind, and she's also completely out of her league against Pence. I love how like the media was like, he bullied her, and like they highlighted the moment she's like, I'm talking, Mr. Vice President. And they're like, oh, yes, slay queen. I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, she's a fucking prosecutor. She's not a delicate flower. And she's also a huge corrupt scumbag who literally slept her way into her fucking office. Right? Like, it's not even like, oh, that's defamation or that's, whatever, or libel. No, literally, there's evidence that she slept with fucking Willie Brown. I mean, the bitch, Jesus Christ. Like, the only reason anybody gives a shit about this woman, right? And even that she got the ticket in the first place is because Biden's like, well, I better get the votes of those super predators. Now, quickly, someone fetch me a child to sniff. Like, how is that not, like, there could be a political ad against Biden. There's just a montage of him smelling children. That's it. That's all you need. Or better yet, you could do the children sniffs, and you could cut in the middle of it the mostly peaceful but fiery protests. Jesus, like, my God, Pence fly it's good news. Trump actually deported that fly earlier. It turns out he was actually not born here. Crossed the border illegally. Kamala is a bitch. Fact. Pence is a mansplainer. Yeah, this shit's so ridiculous. Like, it's a debate. If your opponent's wrong, you're not gonna be like, I'm gonna tell her that she's wrong. Oh, it's a woman. Well, I better not. Like, please. Yeah, agreed, beef. And I like the reference. It's an awesome documentary. 22 Mosin looks fun. It does look fun. I definitely want to get one for my kiddo at some point. I want to get that bad boy threaded and put a titanium can on it. Actually, I'm in the middle of kind of like reviewing / playing with a Henry, what do they call it? Their suppressor ready 22 with a long barrel. It's freaking great. Excuse me, I just need to quickly eat something like a savage and talk with my mouth full. Because I'm mega dehydrated. Totally not Everclear. Dude, if I drink that much Everclear, my next live stream will be my funeral. Thoughts on Joe Jorgensen? Pardon my ignorance. Not familiar. Those new Henrys are badass, though. I really want to get a chance to suppress my... I've got a Marlin in 4570. I actually shot it today. Just shot some steel targets with it because I had a couple of hand loads. And I was like, I don't remember if I ever actually test these things. I know I was doing like not quite black powder loads for them, but like pretty close. Because I've got a couple of the Hornady, like, God, what's the grainage? I don't even want to try to guess. 4570. That's right, the 325 grain lever. I hate that word. Leather revolution. It flows like fucking molasses. It's terrible, but it's a great round though. That shit is a lightning bolt and a cannonball at the same time. I've only shot one deer so far, and it was with my buddies. I forget who makes it, but it's a breech loader, right? 4570, and we had it suppressed with oh God, what the hell is the name of that can? It's a gigantic multi-caliber can, like the something 46 or whatever, right? Anyway, so the buck was like 110 yards down range, and the impact on that animal. Oh my god, the sound of it, because it was suppressed. I could hear it, right? It literally sounded like somebody hit like a burlap sack full of spaghetti sauce with a bat. It was awful. It was like slap, and I was just like, ugh, ugh, got him. Let's see. Looking forward to Ruger fixing Marlin. Yeah, 100%. Now Ruger just needs to buy out Keltec so they can make all their products actually work and be available. That would be very cool. Sorry about that. Third-party candidate promising to disband the NFA and BATF. Oh, okay, Jork. That's cool, but unfortunately not really viable at this moment. It'd be badass if maybe they made him a VP or something like that, but probably not. Henry X in 4570. Yes. Dude, I love 4570. It's a badass cartridge. I love how like when I shoot a steel plate with like a 308 or something at like 200 yards, it hits it hard, right? 223, little ding. 308, like ding. 4570 sounds like somebody walked up to the target and hit it with a sledgehammer. It's so good. It's like a dong. You're like, yep, got it. Got it. The new 6.8 round looked cool. It does. Glad you found the Dugan stream. You wish. You wish. Where have I been, says Tim Johnson. I had a child 4.5 months ago. That's where I've been. So I apologize. But, yeah, there's no way. I was academically prepared for his birth. I was not in reality. Gotta say, probably the happiest day of my life was the day he was born. I didn't even think it was even possible to be that happy. It's crazy. Like the stupidest things he'll do make me so happy, like irrationally happy. I'm sure it's to some extent it's got to be biological, right? We're wired to be happy that our offspring are alive and walking around and everything else. But like for a long time, he couldn't smile because they lack the ability to smile intentionally. You'll get like these smiles when they're forcing gas out, and there's like, yeah. But the first time he gave me like a full on like ear to ear, I'm so happy I can't stand it giggle smile. Oh my god, I was over the roof. I was so fucking happy. I was like, it's getting a little dusty in here. Yeah, like it's incredible. The get a baby carrier for range sessions, so fun. My buddy Lee actually bought me a tactical baby carrier, and I'm not gonna use it at the range because the lead particles not good for developing children's brains, and I don't have earmuffs that'll fit him yet. What's funny is if he's in the house and he can hear me shooting because I'm only like 35-40 yards from the house when I'm shooting, and because so funny enough when my wife was 4 months pregnant, right? We went to SHOT Show, right? And we filmed at range day, but she stayed behind the line. And one of my subscribers over here, Chingling, a good friend of mine, actually came and helped us film and carried the camera equipment and stuff like that, so she could stay behind the line. But the kid was always used to the sound of gunshots. They don't bother him at all. He doesn't even notice. Like we had a bad thunderstorm, and he's just wagging his feet, giggling, doesn't give a shit. I was like, base department, we have a baby for you. Let's see. Calling a grown man daddy, cringe. Oh, you mean Jorg? Oh, Jorg, I thought you meant my kid calling me daddy. I was like, what? Thoughts on the MP7 and Garand Thumb, aka G Daddy? That's what you're referencing to. I think Garand Thumb makes some really like attractive looking content. I really do. I don't understand the cult of personality around him. Especially the guys that are like, he's so handsome. I'm being ironically gay. Tee-hee. I'm like, that's a little weird. That's a little weird. And thank you, Tim, for the congratulations. I appreciate it, brother. The happy chemicals entered your brain. Yeah, probably, actually. Fun with Guns MP5 is greater than the MP7, in my opinion. It is objectively so in terms of aesthetics. So what was the 545 Galil in the title? So On Friday, Tommy, they released they being IWI released 545 Galil carbines and 545 Galil pistols in 545 as collector's items. I think they're like $1,900. And so it's kind of the breaking news of the day. I scrambled to buy one as fast as I could, and I couldn't. So, but I did request one, and they said they might big asterisks might be able to get me one. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I mean, I've got an SGL 31, which I'm pretty happy with, and I'll probably get a PSA AK-74 with the folding stock. I know that a lot of people are not huge fans of PSAs, AKs. Personally, I actually don't have much experience with them at all, but the 103 pattern AKs are so cool. I'm willing to have one just for like fun. I mean, for serious, quote unquote, serious AK use, until I've been proven, super, at least on par with the best in terms of American guns, I'll probably stick with my SGL 21 or 31 or the Galil. I really want to try to shoot pigs with I have a 308 Galil pistol, and man, that thing is fun. Man, that thing sucks to shoot. It's so loud. The recoil is not bad at all. I've got a Manicore Arms Nightbreak on it. Works amazing. Can you show the 545 Galil link? So I actually couldn't. They actually took the pictures off their website. If you look right here, it gives you like a 404 error, which is unfortunate. But I had a picture. Let me see where the hell it was. There, it's unfortunately about as big as I can get it. I can do some enhance where I'm actually just like zooming in. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking. The picture I had before in the hey, I'm doing a live stream. Wish I could pull it up here. I have a better angle of it somewhere. Nope, I lied. I don't. Sorry, check out the phone for a second. I'm trying to make sure that the wife's not messaging me being like, the baby is having a meltdown. Now, knock on wood, last couple of days he's been sleeping like at least 6-7 hours a night, which is awesome. So yeah, here's in my Photoshop. Here's my Galil A762 with a Galil ARM magazine inserted into it, because the external dimensions of Galil ARM mags are basically identical in terms of the interface portions, right? Like the locking tab and the lip are identical to an AKM magazine. And I actually really like. I've got my little crappy fixed power Nikon scope on there. I love that scope more and more the more I use it. Like, I really like that scope. I like fixed power optics are so clear and they're so bright. See, I'll show another one. Give me a second. I can pull it up. It's a better photo. It's kind of a cool one. Sorry. I'll show you how the sausage is made if it lets me pull it up. This is how I do all of my Photoshop work, right? This is called Camera Raw. It's very similar to just Photoshop. It's actually part of Photoshop. This is the same gun with the correct magazine inserted. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a crappy Croatian mag. Let's see if I zoom in. Enhance. Made in Croatia. Yup. And there's a little fleur-de-lis. But yeah, if you ever want to take your photography skills to the next level, take your photos in RAW. You can do so much. Like right there, just using Adobe's color things. You just use auto and get a little bit warm or whatever. But like the granular adjustments you can make are nuts. Like you can drag the exposure tab all over the place. Seizure warning. Or you can fade the whole thing out and get that whoa, bro, Instagram, fade it out. Maybe add a sepia to it. Add fake vignetting. Oh man, look how pro this picture looks. And take an adjustment brush, crank the texture and clarity up. and exclusively apply it to the actual gun itself. I think I have a warm hue on it. Yeah, I totally do. I'll change the color profile. There we go. And all of a sudden, oh my god, I've got such a good thumbnail. But yeah, I've got Modern Warfare in the background, and we're live streaming, and I have Photoshop up. It is running like hot dog shit. So you can read there. There's the RS Regulate, the GAR 1M, 10M English words. Woo, a little too aggressive with the zoom there. You can see in the background, very out of focus. My little chicken wire fence we used to keep the deer away from the new trees, as well as a piece of sticky tape or sticky board we used to keep the damn yellow flies at bay, who are the worst. There you go. Someone can screenshot my live stream and take that picture, and they can sell it on the internet. They'll be like, look at me, I'm a photography thief, a plagiarist. There's the word. Let me minimize the other windows so I can see. I'm sure you guys have been talking this whole time. Yup. Croatia in 140p. Fact. Go hunting with pigs with a NAM Air AR and Tiger Strip camo. Hell yeah. YouTube is randomly overturning rulings on my videos that were approved for ads, so they are limited now. Have you had any significant issues with YouTube going back and forth on monetization lately? Yes, for years. Funny enough, one of the ones it's very ridiculous. I did for TFB the first YouTube friendly gun review where I literally pixelated the gun like it was porn. Got flagged like multiple times, and then unflagged, and then flagged, and unflagged. It's ridiculous. What is my favorite loadout in Modern Warfare? I'll show you. So, although aesthetically, right? I hate the PBS suppressor on the end, right? It doesn't make any sense. But the FAL, and yeah, I got the cringe Grim Reaper sticker on the mag and the American flag with the bald eagle on the handguard. Hell yeah, brother! And of course I got the platinum camo on the gun itself just to be extra obnoxious. Dude, this thing absolutely bodies people. It is a dumpstering machine. I usually run that, and then lately I've been running the Remington 700 in a chassis with a variable zoom scope and integral suppressed barrel. I really like that setup. Even after the nerf, it's still really, really, really cool and viable. Church of Foul, yes. Jim, are you gonna play Squadrons? I own it. Yeah, I've so with the whole ranking glitch, it basically I think I won 6 out of my 10 placement matches, and it put me at like DFL, aka dead fucking last. Like it gave me like the worst ranking possible, and I was like, I'll probably wait to play until future seasons. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Y-wing so far and the TIE bomber. That's my jam right there. That and the what's it called? Flying the TIE bomber and then Tokyo drifting my ass into like right next to the power systems, and then dumping the entire payload on it to try to expose all the weak points on the what's the final ship? It's a Mon Calamari, right? I think that's what it's called. But yeah, dude, that, and then I know for oh yeah, I've got the DBS 12 with a God, it's really obnoxious pattern. Let me take the camo off. There we go. With like the fake Keltec blueprint on it with the Dragon's Breath rounds for the ultimate in tryhardiness. Oh yeah, the 3, isn't that weird? The 3 scope rings? Yeah, I noticed that immediately too, and I was like, what the hell? Henry downloading it. Is there a story mode? There is a story mode. It's kind of SJW'd a little bit, a lot. like everybody of importance is a person of color or a woman or both, and the Empire is like depicted as like just straight up space Nazis, which is fine. Their reasons for doing stuff is really questionable at times, and the rebellion are straight up terrorists, and they're celebrated for being terrorists. Oh, and the writer, what's it called? The writer came out on Twitter and was like, the pronouns of this alien are, and I was like, fucking come on. Like, can you stop fucking obsessing over your genitals for like 10 seconds? Any companies you will not do reviews for? No. No. There's some companies that won't play ball with me. So c'est la vie. The Empire did nothing wrong. Alderaan was a state sponsor of terrorism. Dude, what's his name? Oh my god, I can't think of the blue guy. Is it? It's not Tarkin. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, did nothing wrong. It's like my wife has been working her way through all of Star Trek Deep Space Nine recently, and she's like, "Oh my god, not Garrett. Oh my god, I can't. I'm too sleep deprived. Thrawn, thank you. Oh god, I can't think of this guy's name. Oh, Gold Dukat. Yeah, there's someone had a shirt I saw recently that said Gold Dukat did nothing wrong, and I was like, that's so good. Favorite sexy alien race, dude. That's Oh my god, I have to look it up now. It's a toss up. It's a toss up, right? Between Asari from Mass Effect and Twi'lek from Star Wars, excuse me. Mostly because that first scene in Jabba's palace with like the two random Asian chicks in the Twi'lek outfits, I was like, this better not awaken something in me. Yeah, this guy gets it. Oh, Jorclip, yeah. Like he knows what's up. He knows what's up. I know. I remember when my wife and I were playing through Mass Effect 2, I think it was, and we were trying to romance the one blue chick, and we kept making the joke. I was like, "Oh shit, are we gonna see side bloob?" Because we're both like 8 years old. Tintin. Too bad Earth is flat. Aliens don't exist. Hey man, neither do dinosaurs either, according to Owen Benjamin. Oh man. Dude, I always kind of wonder like how many conspiracy theories do I have to harp on in one live stream to get like permanently irrevocably banned from YouTube? That's the question, right? Like, do I have to talk about like Sandy Hook and then like the moon landings and then frogs being gay and then you know, Michelle Obama actually being a biological woman, uh, or about like Podesta eating children and being part of like a real life version of Eyes Wide Shut. It's curious. Like what, like how far down the rabbit hole do I have to go in a stream before like literal glow in the darks show up to my house and freaking body me? Best aliens are Cinder Vulcans. What was that? There was an episode of the Next Generation where Riker is with like a trans Vulcan thing, and it's super weird. Just talk about Nick Fuentes. That should get the job done. See, I would, Johnny, but I'm not. I'm not a cat boy, so I'm not his type. You just run them over. That's what you do. Jesus. Well, that escalated quickly, right? But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna try to do this again next week around the same time, and I'm gonna try to prepare a lot better. Although this time I actually had things to talk about. Where like in the past, I know sometimes some people have rightfully complained that I just kind of just spun my wheels for a while, which is that's true. Uh, but it's difficult to make time for a lot of other stuff. But now with me working full time for a company that covers a lot of shooting news, it becomes easier because I see it all the time anyway, and I'm just like, let's make a little note for myself. Let's see. I think I might play a round of. Let's see. What do I have on filter? Take that off. Infected's garbage. The 10v10s are bad. There you go. Favorite sci-fi spaceship versus favorite plane. So I really like the Corsair. The old like Pacific Theater, the dark blue paint scheme. The I think it had 650 cals on it. I think. Really like that, and its favorite like fictional spacecraft, huh? I like the TIE Defender. I said that was really cool, but aesthetically, TIE Bomber is like a special place in my heart. Apparently, Burst Review has something to do with cartoon alien porn. Hey man, it was college, alright? Just experimenting. Steel Diver is no. I'm thinking. I was thinking is if Steel Diver was a Nintendo DS video game, but I'm thinking of something else. Dude, I love. Look at that. Look at that. Sugoi. I mean, macho. And of course, I got the dual golden Berettas because why not? I'm gonna get absolutely bodied here. So this is my Warzone loadout. Am I on search and destroy? No, okay, good. Just want to make sure. Ah. Oh, I'm ripped. He's running Ghost apparently. I wish I could shoot a foul that fast and accurately in real life. That'd be nice. Whew, that guy scared me. The potato is real. That first shot looked like it should have been a headshot, but apparently not. I really should be pushing A. Although I'm just being lazy and going for kills. Yeah, my sensitivity is way too low. Come on, UAV. Alright, they're nowhere near me. Not what I meant to do. Did I get it? Ah, no! Garbage. Blech. Let's say Steel Diver Simulation video game developed and published by Nintendo. This is from Day. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Me the Puddle Jumper from Stargate. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about the Puddle Jumper. I really liked Stargate Atlantis. That was a really. I mean, it wasn't the same without like the original crew. But I really liked the Stargate games or games shows series English. I wish I had Mara's simp suit in Modern Warfare. Dude, it's so cringe. Like people who unironically pay money for that kind of stuff. Like at least for me, I bought one season pass once, and I've just used the what's it called, the extra COD points you get for completing said season pass to be able to get future ones. Let's see if I can actually stop someone from pushing. I can't even see him in here. I didn't realize that. Whoops. Ah! I shouldn't have pressed shift again. Let's see. Let's get something a little faster. Yeah, that's pretty good. I haven't played Modern Warfare since 2019. Yeah, it's definitely the most fun I've had in a Call of Duty game since the original Modern Warfare, which is like surprising. Fuck. Isn't them blowing up the Death Star the same thing as blowing up Aldrin? I mean, to an extent, yeah. There was a guy, I forget how long ago it was, who did a whole thing on like, wow, it was weird. I didn't even press forward. A whole thing on all the innocent people that must have died as a result of the Death Star blowing up, like all like the innocent engineers and people who were basically forced into Imperial like labor or whatever. I thought it was kind of funny. Ah, camping their own fucking spawn, of course. You know, I should probably push Bravo right now. There's no one on Alpha. They're gonna get that like instantly. I got him, but kind of a little late there. The AS Val is a fun gun, so is the N94. Yeah, I agree. I really like the AS Val in the game. It's actually really enjoyable. Did I get it? Oh, his buddy got me. Yeah, unfortunately, none of my weapons or loadouts are set for Warzone or for anything but Warzone, so I have all these like slow-moving setups currently. That was an enemy. Okay. Okay. What's my latency? Oh, it's not bad. Well, it might be the fact that I have a ton of web pages open, probably, and streaming. All right. Yeah, show the Val. The AUG with a Colt Magwell is sweet for high speed. Yeah, I like how in Warzone that uses what's it called, SMG ammo, so you don't have to worry about burning up your AR like supplies and stuff. Uh-oh. Oh, did Jim just clutch? Oh, the tree stopped it. Oh, no. Trying to get there before, just in case they're defusing. Oh, we got it. Let's see. They would have also destroyed Endor, and they blew up the second one. The debris would have definitely done real damage. Agreed. Thoughts on 9mm API as a CCW round? I mean, could work, sure. It's. I saw there was some. I think one of the guys on AmmoLand did an article on one of those like super armor defeating. Oh hell yeah. Sorry, super like armor defeating 9mm available, and it definitely got me thinking. I mean, it's really cool. It's one of the reasons why, like, I remember when I first got into shooting, I was like contemplating: is it possible to get some of the awesome ballistics of 7.62x25 in like a concealed carry platform? I mean, yes, but defensive ammunition is very limited selection wise. So oh, get riked. Fuck. I got one at least. I big time potatoed that. Oh, we got it. What would it take for Kalashnikov USA to release the AK-19 in the US? I don't know. A miracle at this point, or even their what's it called? Their folding stock 7.62 AK, which is like, I don't know why that wasn't the first gun they imported. Like, why on earth would they go with a fixed stock AK right out the gate? Like, to me, that's kind of like, eh. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a nice AKM, but at the same time, right? Like, I'm not gonna waste my time or money on another gun like that when I've already got, so many other AKMs, or style guns already out there. You know what I mean? Like, I know the surplus market is like basically gone, but even still. Ooh, that's what I should run. My boy, the Galil Ace. I think I might have to. See if I can change the reticle to something that doesn't suck. Yeah, I'll do that one. It's really interesting scope they chose, right? The SUSAT style one that you used to see on like FALs and stuff. It's really interesting. Or on FALs and the L85s that the British run. It's really interesting that they chose that to have like as a regular optic. Magnetic accelerator pistol. When get on it, Ruger. Tarkov UI and Modern Warfare graphics for a Fallout game. That would be sick. Livestream playing Stalker, Shadow Chernobyl, and we can take bets on how long you can go before blue screen of deathing. So I've actually played every Stalker game to completion. I am a huge fan. I liked Call of Pripyat was a lot of fun. God, there's so many times like walking around with a little handheld Geiger counter thing, looking for artifacts with my little crappy Makarov pistol. And just all of a sudden, one of those like mutated dogs comes out of nowhere and just wrecks your shit. I'm gonna Bubba up my SKS. No! I'm so terrible. Did I get him with that? Oh, come on, you're on top of the grenade. Oh, I'm getting hit markers. Nope. Oh shit, I thought I had snapshot still. Really? Oh, MP5. Alright. We're gonna play the ADS game. I'll put the shortest barrel humanly possible on here. There we go. NFA be damned. Let's go. Oh, see that? That's the problem with 2019. There's a lot of guys that play just like that, dude. They just hide in dark corners. I got deagled. Brutal. Now let's go full send with a shotgun, like a total piece of dog shit. What's inside the scope on the inside scoop on the new 6.8. Thus far I don't know much about it yet. Same guy hiding in a corner. I need to change this loadout to get a stun grenade. There we go. My frames are taking a absolute plummeting with the stream going. Oh, lame. Hiding with C4 on the point. Thoughts on the new Polymer 1911? If that's the ATI one, I like conceptually. It's kind of a neat idea. I mean, it might be a decent way to breathe new life into the platform for guys who want a higher capacity magazine than 7 rounds. Oh, thank you, random guy eating his microphone. Now I can mute everybody. I don't know what I want to run. Just keep it like it is. Oof. God, there's always one. So Larry Vickers did a video on it yesterday, I believe. Oh, I don't watch enough of Vickers' stuff. I don't know. That's all I can say about that. Golly, I am dog shit right now. Oh, I thought it was prone. Brutal.
Less than a minute. Enemy UAV overhead.
Let's go with. Let's put a hollow on it. Oof.
Enemy cluster strike incoming. Take cover.
320 doesn't take lock bags. Fact. Oof, walked right into that.
Bomb planted. Countdown start.
Ah! Should just slow down my clicking. Jim, could one say the 220 is the striker version of the 250? That is the 250, the palm version of the 226. Yeah, that's I follow that logic. Out of here, kid. Fucking spawn camper. Okay. I mean, I follow the train of thought there. It's a little it's a bit convoluted, but I get it. I can dig it. I can't even see these guys half the time. These guys play so grimy.
They've defused our bomb. Enemy shield turret spotted.
I don't even know what's even on this thing. Where did I put that loadout? There it is.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I'm just disappointed that they didn't put like a 9mm conversion for the Glock in this and then make it like auto. It'd be really cool.
Enemy at the water tower.
Camping. It's the same guy every time. Camping with shotguns and stuff.
We're planting an out.
High point is better than a 320. I mean, if Patrick, whatever his name, hit it with a hammer and it went off, then that's objectively true.
Friendly UAV online. Enemy UAV overhead. We're planting an A.
Dude, brutal. Thought I had the plant.
30 seconds.
I think this is a non-win for us here in a second. This is feeling very unplayable currently from playing too much Warzone. I'm like, God, it dies so fast. I also don't have the patience to play these kind of game modes where it's like, oh, make every life count and go like super slow. Like, nah.
And since we've lost the objective, I expect better.
It's a feature. Ugh. But I think the stream is kind of dying off, and I think I might cut it a bit early here because I need to probably get to bed relatively soon since the kiddo is gonna want to get up at like 5, like he always does. So I'll probably call it here in a bit. But if you guys want to join the Discord channel, go on ahead and we can play some games together or whatever, or just shoot the breeze. And thanks, guys, again for watching the stream. I appreciate it, and I will definitely be on next week. We'll have to figure out some topics to talk about. So, GG, fellas, and I will talk to you guys in a week. Thanks for stopping by, guys.